Well, I think there are several effects. One is that, of course, this will mean lower consumption in these countries, which in turn will mean that they will buy less things from the rest of the world, and that will not help global growth, of course. The other thing is that in response to this inflation, they will increase interest rates, so they will have to try to reduce inflation or slow down the growth in inflation by raising interest rates. And that will probably lead to disruptions in many emerging and developing economies, as capital will go to where the interest rates are high. And for many economies, I think there have been a lot of improvements in what we call the sort of macro frameworks, these frameworks that tries to protect and stabilize economies. But this will be a very severe test for these frameworks. On top of that, I would say that there is also, with the increasing inflation, not only in those rich countries, there will be increasing inflation in other parts of the world. And we know that inflation, when it hits things like food prices and fuel, can be very disruptive also for the political situation. So you can have political instability in many parts of the world as a result of high inflation. Well, I think the first thing, which has been true for some time now, the rich countries need to make sure that vaccines are available for the entire world, and also that there are efforts to help make sure that these are also deployed so that they also reach the people that could be infected. That's a very important priority. A second priority is, of course, to try to bring down inflation, because this is something that will, as we spoke about, be very impactful for many countries in the world. There is a unique opportunity now also to try to address the need for renewables, for green growth. That will be a very important part to address what we call this stagflation, that this combination of high inflation and potentially high unemployment. We should say that so far unemployment has stayed very low, and there is even a shortage in many areas of qualified workers and so on. But the risk is here that we will have indeed much lower growth rates, possibly a recession, and that will also bring up unemployment. So all these things need to be put in place: the medical emergency, the economic situation, and also thinking long-term strategically about green growth. It comes, of course, against the backdrop that we have been talking about of lower expectations in terms of growth, concerns about inflation. There is a need, obviously, and this is where we need the coordination now to really address the remaining vaccination issues. I think there is a lot of need to rekindle the green growth ambition, and that again it will require a lot of coordination. A lot of good proposals have been put on the table. We are not talking about very large amounts, but this will be come at a time when anything that can be done to stimulate this targeted growth would be very welcome. So these are the kind of things that will be discussed and should be discussed at the World Economic Forum in Davos.